STN Trading for the discerning gentleperson.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is GrumpyKoi, and we are back with the EU Essentials Monthly, number 1 of Season 2. I'm joined by Gemm on production, and again, eepily as my co-caster. How you doing, eepily?
I am doing pretty great. This is our last game of the night, and I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be solid.
I'm super excited. We've got Tiny Samaritans versus, again, our Elektro. They're in all of the games so far, but they've done super well. Like, they're not exactly not putting on a show for us, so we've got to respect that from them.
Yeah, like I said, Elektro has been looking good. They did just lose quite a... Well, they got quite a pounding from 7, but at the same time, it is 7, so, a 5-0 loss necessarily isn't too unexpected, but we saw Elektro kind of hand out a similar pounding to the bus crew earlier, and considering these... this kind of skill level teams, I think Tiny Samaritans is the only other one currently in the competition around that level. So I think we may end up with a pretty close game here. Just quickly, we're just going to run through who is on Tiny Samaritans, because I think Gem's having a couple issues here. So Tiny Samaritans does have Domo, Olga, Crayon, Raf, Ixie, Smear. So we've got some real veterans of the game, some real big Prem talent going on.
Yeah, and it looks like our Elektro have actually picked up Adalos as an extra scout who played with the German team during Prem and is really good, worked along Shocky a lot during the season. So he's a really good scout for them to have during this last game. And I'm super interested. We were saying earlier that we think it's probably going to be Domo on Med. Obviously,
yeah, I believe he was playing medic earlier on in the competition, and as much as this is a bit of a mixed team as well, you'd imagine they'd play vaguely similar classes. Although I gotta say, if Domo does end up on I can't imagine Domo would end up on demo over Smear, but if he did, Domo's a big fragger. Not to say Smear isn't. Smear's also a huge fragger. So regardless, this roster's a pretty scary one to look at.
Saying that Smear is on the newly reformed Swift loadout roster is the word I'm looking for.
That one.
He's on the new roster that's coming on. I'm super excited for that next season as well. We've got some really exciting things in the work, as well as this game, which has just started. So we're going to be taking it away for the last game of the Swift system. This will obviously decide finally who's in the playoffs tomorrow. And Smear a little bit quicker than Eames on this, but he's a little lower as he tries to get a stick onto Eames. So he isn't able to connect anything, but there is Raf nicely forward. Olga joining him. Olga actually playing Soldier rather than Scout. So that'll be interesting to see from him. But this mid, a lot of aggression coming out of our Elektro. They do pick up Raf, but Ixie manages to get Scruff as well. So trade for trade right now. But Azuna's going down, meaning that there is an advantage for the boys in red, and they do pick up Adalos. Does mean that they take that mid eepily.
Yeah, so there's some nice hype from the boys in red. They kind of took that position. They kept hold of it. Olga's going to try and get it onto Menti. Gets a little bit of damage. Another rocket. Oh, but Menti surfs all the way into rollout. This cop does go down. Okay. Olga eventually gets taken down. Oh my god! Menti gets forced. Okay. I thought he was going to drop that pipe then. And that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, they lose Crayon, but as long as Domo gets out alive, yep. We're all looking good. So
that was really, really good kiting from Tiny Samaritans, and it does mean they've got this nice Uber advantage. Even though Scruff is going on to Domo, they do use Smear taking the brunt of the Uber, but they're not able to connect anything. And Smear takes that Uber in, but gets denied by Adalos, takes a huge amount of damage, ends up getting picked up by Eames, and the double bomb from the 2 French soldiers onto 1 does mean that a lot of the players...
Raf's absolutely pounding from behind. He actually got all the way through rollout into 1, like absolutely pounded them from behind, and then takes down Menti as well. So Raf kind of he's happy with what he got. He got out alive as well. So now, actually, I was going to say they might just be playing the Uber advantage, but they're actually looking to take it in with kind of hills versus no hills. They have to deal with this gun on right first. They're steadily getting there. Still got much better position.
So much time on the point though. And they do take it.
So that's some nice play from your Tiny Samaritans boys. As a bit of bit of a note, I believe a certain amount of these players are kind of for the up-and-coming Prem team which News is making. So this is kind of the News team without News. So I believe they've named their team News because he is forever in their hearts.
Yeah, can't forget about News. The Smire is really far forward. Really nice speed from him. But having Smire on their team does mean that they have got a very experienced player who's very good at commanding his teams when he needs to. And a lot of aggression coming out of Elektro on their right-hand side as they're trying to wrap around on the point. Eames in a good position to spam onto Smire, but first person to go down is to Crater, and that is Azunas. So it just means that a lot of players from Elektro are bunched up, but Olga gets picked off in the end, and Raf chasing a player, getting a kill onto Scruff. But the fight is still going on in second. Oh! Huge damage from Smire and Raf, just getting players up. Menti all on his own against Ixie, tries to get the sword to stay alive. He gets the Uber. So that's actually really good from him. He's getting body blocked. He just needs one player to reconnect with him, maybe just to get out. But Smire trapping him off with those stickies. Nice play from him.
So that was very nearly a kind of a great escape from Menti there. Maybe if that had been like a soldier spawning and a scout spawning instead of the soldier, would have gone better. But ultimately, it all amounts to nothing as Domo's got his Uber, and they're actually going to be looking to be moving through one. Now, Elektro has got a heavy in the spawn door. He was being a little bit annoying. They know they can't really focus him. Uber finally does get used, and they're taking opposition on the right. Oh, but Smear gets dropped. I think Domo just got pushed a little bit too far back, and they know that there's not really any way they're going to convert this last push now. Yeah, especially with Ixie going down to a crispy direct from Fishkoff. Fishkoff's been he's been on those directs today, He's not wasting any time. Another one on Domo.
Look at this aggression from Elektro though. They managed to get Olga with that. Domo managing to get Crayon. Crayon picking up Fishkoff as he's connected with that medic, but really a bit of an overextension. Maybe they weren't seeing that the spawners were up for tiny Samaritans there, but they had really nice aggression as they are going into IT, looking to see if they can actually get anything onto Smire and his boys in the tiny Samaritans.
Yeah, I said it's only about 30% advantage. You might just be thinking just to use out and jump, but nope. Instead, they're seeing that oh my god! Didn't even see that sticky trap. Meant to go straight down. Smear's getting a little +2 to his name there, and now they're actually about to get the Uber of their own. They have got a sniper, doesn't matter too much, and they're taking a lot of spam. They're probably gonna have to use here. They will, but only after dropping Crayon. So not ideal, but as it is, it's still going to be at worst equal because Menti still hasn't even spawned. And with the damage they've dealt to Elektro, they actually might just be able to convert second off it as long as they can get enough people forward.
Yeah, and they are pushing people out. Fishkoff actually beats his jump and ends up dying because of it. And it does mean that Smire can get some nice forward stickies up, hold the second as the spawners come in. They've got Olga on the sniper, so they're seeing if maybe they can get something out of IT on this. Not IT, sorry, out of lobby. But they're ready to go in. They're all in on the right. They've taken down the sentry gun, and they're looking to get presence onto point as the rest of our Elektro coming out the right side.
My
A
god.
loss on the Putis, but does not matter.
That is some filthy use of the Sydney Sleeper, just peeing on absolutely everyone. A couple, very, very quickly charged body shots, taking down Eames, and I believe it was it a scout or soldier on the right? I didn't quite see in time, but
Oh, I didn't see that. He was on the...
They can use these unlocks, making proving a point. It's allowed, so I'm going to use it.
I didn't even see that he was on the Sydney Sleeper. That actually surprised me. But Smire actually beefed his jump, so they are going to have to play right during this mid, and it does mean that Elektro are able to get quite a lot of presence forwards. Azunas bombing across, just seeing if he can, create some space, create some initiation. Olga trying to deny that, and the high ground is currently in Elektro's favour as Fishkoff goes across but gets denied really nicely by Ixie. But Eames goes down. That's a really, really crucial pick. And only 3 players left for Elektro. They're going to have to back out.
Yeah, we saw some good stuff from Smear there. He kind of, got into a decent position on the right side, just raining down damage just as Raf came behind. Raf was a little bit unlucky. He got just so denied on his jump, but it's going to come down to whether Elektro feel confident in trying to hold this. We've seen them a few times before kind of, run away in these situations, but it seems like they've learned a bit from it. As much as Scruff will go down, they are actually at least 5v6 with equal Ubers, so, they don't give up the point. They know that worst case scenario, when Elektro, you know, if they were to move forward, they'd be able to take the trade. But Elektro won't. They're actually going to look towards sewer. Start peeking with their sniper again. Sydney Sleeper, it's up. It's charges so quickly. He just needs the body shot of Menti, and that's it! Menti drops!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Idlos is just horrified by what just happened.
And
Actually, another body shot goes straight on Fitchkov. Mini crits just raining out. You know, Raf's taking a bit of a fight on the flank as well. You know, they're just thinking, you know, we're gonna have to push the flank to make kind of something happen here, because this guy's just peeing on all of us. Doesn't matter though. Uber's still up on Domo. Olga's actually even watching towards lobby with the Sydney Sleeper. Gets another one! 3! Oh my lord, okay, right. Elektro's just going to keep on going. Uber advantage, they got a sniper up. He's just going to be, you know, if nothing, doesn't even have to hit headshots anymore. He'll body shot you, your mini crit stun, you're taking like hundreds of damage across the entire map. In we are, lobby right.
Yeah, and they do go in, immediately take down that sentry. They're just baiting point, just trying to get those sticks to be detonated by Eames, which they are. He manages to pick up Ixie, but not before so much time is on to the point. They just need to touch it. But really nice defense from the Zunis and Adelos, but it turns out to be futile, as that's 3 rounds, 2 tiny Samaritans.
You know, see, Olga getting another kill on last with like the SMG there. I think that's 4 from him, one of them being a drop. You know, he's really making the Sydney Sleeper work for him.
Yeah, tiny Samaritans just showing their prowess. It's kind of like a replay from the 7 game. Like, so much pace and control is on the side of tiny Samaritans against our Elektro. They are struggling, but Raf's super low in his team's right hand side. Big bomb coming out of Fishkoff, but he ends up getting skyboxed, so he loses all of his momentum. Players are going down. Crayon and Olga. Raf down as well, so that's 3 players down with only 1 down for Elektra. They managed to get Domo, only Smire left, and they've got a huge advantage. They'll be able to get second for free as well if they play this correctly, but they seem to be chasing hard, but Smire tries to punish someone, but they don't overextend on that.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, Smir does manage to live. At least they're going to have, you know, a demo alive. If he had died really late there, that would have been really, really problematic. But as it is, he'll be alive. Elektro still does have to cap. They are actually starting to move towards the right-hand side from the attacker's point of view. They're going to be a little bit worried for this sniper. You know, again, Olga's just... He's feeling it today. He's got those couple frags. He's thinking, I'm going to make the most out of this. So Uber gets popped off a little bit earlier than perhaps necessary, but you know, Menti doesn't want to drop again. No chance at all. Forces a good amount of red into spawn, but they've only really taken position with it. It's only now they're managing to actually spam the gun, and Eves goes down the pipe from Smir, so instantly getting a little bit trickier. Yeah, and Elektro knows. Once again, you know, they lose Eames, they gotta back out.
Yep, and they're probably going to back up all the way to mid. They haven't got the players to be able to spam anyone out, losing both their soldiers. Scruff ends up going down to a rocket from Raf, and this looks like tiny Samaritans want to take this through IT and, you know, catch some players off guard if they can. Eames not aware that the players are coming out of that right side. It does mean that they haven't got good positioning. They're getting forced out of choke. Poor Azunas gets picked up as he's denied in there, and they're still going. They're still going, eepily.
They're going with this momentum, you know. They get that frag there as well. They know that say Scruff is sniping, but Menti, Eames, Scruff, they're all just sitting there in one. They know that there's nothing they can do. Once they're standing in that door, you know, it's like they have no choice but to back out or take an obscene amount of spam, and then you know, it basically just becomes one of the worst Ubers you could possibly have. But now maybe we'll just slow down for a second, equal Ubers, and tiny Samaritans will be probably looking to see if they can't get something done in lobby. So Scruff is up on the sniper. He's able to peek a little bit more. No actual off classes on the Samaritan side, so maybe that's gonna... Oh, nope. Smear's gonna get completely caught out, so back outside they go. Raf goes down as well. Okay, be interesting to see whether Elektro tries to go for just a full commit push or maybe a sack. Fishkop actually
taking so much damage.
Yeah, he was lucky to get away with his life there. This is looking to be, yeah, a bit of a trade. They do take Ixie down though. And now they should be able to take some good position with a slightly better Uber. Nice jump from Eames. Locks out Domo. That's exactly what he needed there, with Crown going down as well, and not a single blue gentleman going down. This is looking good. We do have Raf hiding in IT, but Shouldn't amount to too much. Nice little 1v1. Ooh, crispy little air shot. Just, you know, the extra little bit of flair.
You're right. And Elektro into middle. Nice aggression from them. Just, they know that the way they have to play this is just with speed right now. As they're going into sewer, maybe seeing if they can do some sort of equal push. They have got their players ready, but Fishkoff peeks in a bit too long and ends up dying to some spam from Smeary and Raf, and it does mean that that's going to slow them down. Raf in IT, maybe looking to see if he can get some sort of angle, as Eves wants to take Menti through onto IT.
They've got just enough advantage to make this work if Menti's going to get caught out. So Menti's building really, really hard. But, you know, ultimately they played the spot correctly, and actually Elektro immediately going straight into lobby. They're about to get this Uber. They may lose the point for it, but they should be able to get a really, really good Uber, although they lose Olga immediately, and actually two from blue team's trying to get desperately onto last. Really, really close it. Oh my god. Okay, nice little straight from Dome. I thought he was going to get absolutely annihilated, but now this has turned from an Uber advantage push into a 2v6. Sorry, a 2v5. They have got the Uber, but what can they really do with it? Iboss is just dancing around. Okay. He will get cleaned up, but...
Azuna's just walking onto point, no one knowing he's there. He
oh my
so
lord.
much time. He just played around the right side from his perspective, and because everyone was coming out of the Reds' perspective of the right-hand side, that no one knew he was there, so he just waddled onto the point. Really good decision making.
So, like I said, he saw their attention was just all focused on one and rollout, so, you know, I'll just peek in through somewhere else, you know, just see if I can get something done. But that's it. Another mid 3-1 for the tiny Samaritan team.
Yeah, Eames goes down first person to go down, and we have seen before that this causes a collapse in our Elektro when they don't have their demo, and that's what we're seeing happening right now with the Azunas really far behind. They probably called that. They probably know what's going on there, but they also know that Menti has no one with him. So Smeary's able to get really far forward, get some traps off. Azunas has just come into into mid, and now trickled back into his opponent's second. So he's pretty much out of the fight as is. They have to just watch, see when he's going to come in. But the rest of Tiny Samaritans want to go into last. Yeah,
definitely. They knew Mentalex wasn't healing. They know they've got a decent bit of Uber advantage here, so they jump straight in through lobby right. Gun is actually still up at the game. So much time on point as as Elektro was just trying to desperately try and get their Uber and spawn. Doesn't matter because Samaritans just stood on point. That's what it comes down to, you know. Play the objective.
You can get all the frags in the world, but if you don't cap those points, it doesn't really matter. But it was also unfortunate that they weren't able to get out, and because the gun was being denied so much on that left-hand side for Elektro. But the mid has started, and Eames has taken a huge amount of damage. So many players from Tiny Samaritans are in good positions to be able to do something. But nice bomb out of Fishkoff, seeing if we can just get some spam on the high ground. Olga actually going down to Azunas. So with that soldier advantage, Raf nearly getting caught out, taking a lot of damage as well in sewer. He ends up going down. So they have got the two-player advantage with their soldiers. So either they can, you know, stack point, which they've decided to do here to go into second. Maybe I think they should have gone in. They don't need to worry about any spam from Olga or Raf because they're still in the respawn queue. Olga just coming in, but the Uber exchange has happened between Smeary and Eames, and we'll see what our Elektro can do easily.
Yeah, and I said, you know, it ended up as a bit of a trade, but it was ever so slightly better for the boys in blue, so they managed to take a lot of position on the point, actually. Really slow capping there. A little bit busy fighting in lobby, just trying to see if they can pick anyone else off, but we're going to go back to just a regular 5v5. Yeah, especially as they lose another one of their soldiers, so I think we're going to see some building on point. We're going to see both teams are trying to get up their Uber before they start doing anything too crazy. But as I say, that Smear, nah, he's just peeking from one. He knows, you know, he's just trying to get that little bit of info, find out exactly where Menti and his gang is. That is lobby as they try and see if they can't just pick someone off. Said Ixie's up on Cypher anyway, so the Samaritan team is a little bit more likely to get something done. Scruff going down. Yep, or Elektro's back outside.
Yep, and Samiri sees this opportunity to take some presence into lobby. Fishkop getting in a good position to spam him out, so I think Samiri wants to do some sort of switch around, but I didn't even realize, but Raph is on the spy, so they're probably just trying to get some distraction plays going, so Raph can get in a better position, because if he's able to get a drop onto Menti, that would be really
he's getting. So Raph's getting all the info. He knows exactly where Or Elektro is moving to. He knows they have a sniper. He knows exactly how many people are where.
This is his opportunity here.
Oh, this is his chance. Raph.
No. And he gets called out.
Unlucky.
And it does mean that they know they're a player down, but both soldiers down. Oh, too many players down.
Raining off headshots there. Yeah, I said I don't think there's really much chance of really the blue team managing to even get much of a trade. Actually, they do force Doma a little bit early. This is actually better Uber for Eames, and with their spawners, maybe this can be way better, especially if they catch them on rollout, which granted they only got Olga, but you never know, they might just be able to kind of do a bit of like a reverse kind of start playing with some of this momentum, take far right. Yeah, they know that there's a little bit of spam down. They lose one of their soldiers, but with Bitchkop behind, he might just be able to come straight down onto Domo. One rocket, so very nearly two.
So many players super low for Tiny Samaritans, but they're re-pushing from spawn, and they managed to clean up all the players on point. Jesus, that looked so convincing.
Menti! Oh. That was actually such an... Oh my god, that was such a nuts surf. Menti, This guy. So that would have been... It would have been so bad for his team if they had lost their medic there as well, and it would have been almost 100% Uber advantage, but at least now they can fight with a bit of heals. Domo hasn't quite got the Uber. He's getting really, really weak. 97%. Okay, he will eventually get it, but it would be a repush from lobby if they do decide to do it. No, they won't, and actually Olga's going to die as well, so in all of that, just Menti getting that beautiful surf, managed to give him a chance to maybe get on to last. Got to make sure he gets Uber now, and he does. It's a nice flash and head loss as well. Very easily could have dropped him there, but now they're just taking so much position on the point. Raining down some good damage with this much better Uber. Again, really playing the cap time.
Crayon and Ixie doing so much work on this last though. They managed to get so many players down and completely nullify any momentum that Elektro had. Olga also on the Putus, chilling out on the Brass Beast.
Oh my lord.
I think Olga's just wanted to show all the other weapons that we don't usually see in TF2.
You see, he's making the most of it, you know. In his head, he's just sitting on like on a 24/7 Dust Bowl server, you know. Anyway, so
that would not surprise me though.
In all of that, you know, Menti managed to live. Domo unfortunately did not. So, Elektro is looking to build up this Uber nice and quickly. Play with about a 40-ish% advantage. Immediately moving to far out, about 95%. Nice use of time. They're playing quite a few boys around the sentry for the Tiny Samaritan team, but gun goes down. But now it's on what Elektro can really do with this position. They can't play too slow. They know there won't be long before Domo is going to be getting his Uber. It doesn't look like they're really able to do that much. The second Domo gets his Uber, it's going to be absolute curtains for anyone staying in. Ooh, that was a bit of a kind of respect pop there from Domo, you know? If you see Eves jump into you and you're one pipe away from dying, you know, sometimes you just got to use to make sure you don't end up in a frag cliff. It's a serious consideration, what can I say?
No, I totally agree with that one. As Tiny Spartan's taken this aggression really nicely into last, mid, even. I know TF2. That one. But really respectable defense from Elektro. They keep themselves in, and they're actually pushing, taking those two picks they've got, and they want to get back onto attacking second so they don't lose out on these points to get into that elimination section. And Eames wanting to go straight in, they take the Uber and they've got a little bit of ad there onto Olga and Domo, who are on the just by spawn, but the Uber's out onto Sphero. Sphero gets denied a lot by some rockets from Fishkop, but that Uber saves his life. But we've got Azunas and Scruff in the back lines distracting players But Scruff and Menti, the only ones left. Menti just needs to just get out of there. Scruff wants to go for some sort of backhand play, and he's doing it. Oh, that was a good effort from him. He managed to keep a lot of players behind, which does mean that the rest of his team can come in and clear up Smear. As Raph comes in, deals a lot of damage onto Eames. The Pyro is still out for our madman Olga, who's doing really well with that. Ixie picking up Azunas, and there's a bit of a fight going on second. No one's really fully the winner, but Fishcop going down. It does look like things are falling in line with what Tiny Samaritan wants from this, and they are able to push him out onto mid.
Yeah, you can see Olga's getting so aggressive on his Intoverse Pyro. He knows he can just keep reflecting that spam. It's only really on maybe some well-timed spam or some good shots from scouts that Olga's really in that much danger. But you know, he's just getting all this position for his team. And now with Menti getting forced a little bit early, Ubers are going to be traded probably reasonably equal, not 100% sure. Olga's still staying in, he doesn't care. He'll get punished, and this is actually turning into an incredibly scrappy fight. I mean, there's just people everywhere, there's people raining down damage from above and below and whatever, but throughout it all, both medics are just about managing to stay alive, even if they're not in the best of situations.
Yeah,
I was going to say an extra player for the Tiny Samaritans team, so maybe when it comes down to it, that's the only thing that really matters, is they just managed to kind of clutch it just a little bit. But Uber's a slight advantage towards red, not a great deal with both teams build. I can't imagine Domo's going to be really feeling like pushing with an Uber advantage. If they push at all, it might just be some kind of off Uber. Depends how well they're reading this.
Yeah, I just realised that they have got the advantage of having Olga on the battalion's backup as Fishcop goes in, sees if he can connect with anyone, but it's all failed as Ixie gets the cleanup. But Azunas on the right-hand side deals a lot of damage to Raph because they're not watching IT as well as they should be. But Ixie going above Azunas, I don't even think Azunas has spotted Ixie, but a lot of damage onto that IT. But that means that the rest of Tiny Spartans are in from mid on choke. They managed to get the force onto Menti. The exchange is still happening right now, and it does look like it's falling for Tiny Samaritans, and they do manage to pick up Menti. So that does mean that they could just wait, they can just build it out, and they will have advantage on mid.
Nah, there's no way they're gonna wait here. They just took out Eames. They know there's no
just
it's actually just Fishcop and Idlos. That's it. A couple more spawners in a couple seconds. Doesn't already get a matter. They're playing on the point, and it's first to 5. So that's it. That's game 5-1 to the Tiny Samaritans.
Also, I've got to learn the names of the points again because I just called last mid once again.
So you're right. It's difficult.
Oof.
It's difficult. We don't keep up with things, but yeah, definitely really good game from Tiny Samaritans. We saw some really nice play from Smear. A couple really good sticky traps, but just some of the ways they played mid, they're kind of rotating around the point a little bit. Kind of. At one point, you had Elektro kind of moving to their far right and just kind of, try and take some of that position, try and take some of the height. But the Tiny Samaritans were just completely spread across, probably basically about like half the mid. So there was no real way that they would take a lot of kind of synchronized damage. There's no real way that someone could bomb directly into them because they were spread just far enough that they wouldn't get caught by spam, but just close enough together that no one really got picked off. It was nice to kind of hit that balance, and then between the flanking plays and just Smear running forward, raining down stickies. That's some really good play.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. And I've got the logs up. Would you like them, or are they already available to you?
I would love the logs, GrumpyKoi. Oh, unlucky. Gem beat you to it. So you're going to be looking at some of the numbers. Yeah, as expected, Smear top damaging, 17 for 8. I said it looked like a really good game for him. As much as there wasn't anything super overly flashy, I think a couple times he managed to kind of jump in, hit that one real crucial sticky, which just locks people inside a choke point. We didn't see anything absolutely crazy in terms of like the flashy stuff. But in terms of just really solid demo play, getting down that damage, just kind of, really forcing them back and locking them out when you're trying to take a point. I thought that was really nice. I think definitely we saw some good stuff from both Ixie and Crayon. Crayon's numbers are a little bit lower, but when you're playing that kind of slightly more passive role, you're not always going to get big numbers. But I thought their focus fire, their cleanup was really, really solid. And obviously, it's got to be mentioned the fact that Domo, with only 3 deaths to his name, not a single drop, really, really good medicing considering doesn't even play medic. He's a gamer.
No, he's done really well. And with the whole Tiny Samaritans team, they played a lot of their advantages really, really well. And the off-classing coming out of Olga, he's done it many a times before, but that guy can just be absolutely nuts.
Dude, that's some of those
the
Sydney, some of those like Sydney sleeper things were just absolute filth, you know? I said, like, you almost like you don't even expect it as well, especially with like the charge time. You're kind of, you know, let's say you're not playing around like those really micro things like, oh yeah, you know, he'll get it like 0.2 seconds slower, but you just don't expect that same kind of thing, you know? Like it's not been unbanned before, so suddenly if you take 150 damage but then you're mini critted, you know, someone can spam a sticky from across the entire map and suddenly you're just taking like 100. You know, same is true for like rocket, same is true for like pistol. It's absolutely crazy what it can do, and we saw some really good use of it there.
It's just like the reliability of it as well is really useful because it doesn't matter where he hits. The charge is so quick that he's able to get those 150 off, like you said earlier. Alongside that, it's a little disappointing for Eames because he didn't do too bad during that game. He dealt a decent amount of damage for his team, and I kind of feel for our Elektro on this one because I feel like they had opportunities. Again, I mentioned this before, but especially on this one, they had opportunities where they could have completely, you know, there was one point where I don't know how they lost that last push. Like everything was looking like they were going to win it, and then the respawners just came at the right moment for Tiny Samaritans, and they ended up crumbling, which is really unfortunate for them.
Yeah, like I said, you know, but even taking that into account, I think we did see like some significantly better point play from the Tiny Samaritans team in terms of like their pushes. Like, you know, not that Elektro was doing things necessarily crazy wrong, but with some of their pushes, like they'd get a lot of time, but just be like a little bit off. And it's those situations where like the really micro things, like, you know, if you played point just a little bit earlier, or just, you know, you kind of position yourselves a little bit better, you would just about get that time before they can move forward from the spawn. You got to really play those nice timings in terms of them like rotating through the spawn. But I said, you know, when it comes down to it, we've seen some really good stuff from Elektro today, but maybe this Tiny Samaritan team is going to be the one to be contesting 7 in our grand finals tomorrow.
But I don't think we can call that too soon because there could be some upset, and especially
we have a whole other day to go.
Especially with how the seeding goes, it could affect. You know, we could see an early, you know, 7s versus Tiny Samaritans, and they knock each, like one of them gets knocked out. Like we've got sorry, go ahead.
I say just so we got the tables of everything that's happened today. I think maybe a couple of the other games are not quite finished yet, but as we have it right now, 7 going through, 10 points, all wins, easy peasy for them. Tiny Samaritans going through with 8 points with 4 wins. So, you know, those 2 are very, very safely in the playoffs tomorrow, regardless of what happens. Looks like Elektro will be also will be there. We're gonna have Robros. Logically, the bus crew probably should be going through as well. We don't see quite all of the things, but obviously, apparently, I'm being told it's a top 16 anyway. So the vast majority of the boys you're seeing right now will be back with us tomorrow to go through our playoff stages, which I believe, if I'm not wrong, is it every playoff game is best of 3? I'm gonna seek some confirmation for that, but I think it is. Either way, we will have some info about that at some point. But I think I don't, with it being about 22, I don't think there's any games ongoing which we can really cut to. So this might actually be the end of our coverage for today.
I don't know. Let me check on the wire.
You're gonna check the wire. You're gonna call up your boys, see what's going on. You know, see what's happening. Okay. I'm just being told right now that so the semifinals and grand finals are best of 3s, but the first round, which is happening, so the first game tomorrow will be best of 1 still. So I'd be really interested in seeing, like, maybe the first 2 rounds are best of 1, and then we go into best of 3 for semifinals. best 3 for finals. I'm making a complete mess of it, but right. As I said, I'd be interested to see like a Tiny Samaritans 7 best of 3 at any point would be interesting. I think an or Elektro Tiny Samaritans best of 3 would also be really, really interesting because, like you said, GrumpyKoi, like it was 5-1. It did look like Tiny Samaritans were in control the most. But maybe on a different map with maybe things a little bit different. Obviously, Idlos looked like he had a really like tough game, and he isn't their regular scout. So maybe tomorrow, they'll be able to come in fresh, win a couple of their earlier games, and then suddenly be able to take a good fight against Tiny Samaritans on a slightly more kind of equal level.
Yeah, no,
Definitely would be interesting to see.
It would be interesting to see. I'm just having a look through the sort of the previous things, and I do see that when earlier today Tiny Samaritans did actually face off against 7 and got 5-0'd. So is that a prelude to things to come? We'll have to really check out tomorrow. I'm just super excited. I hope not. No, I want to see a nice little close game.
Yeah, if it's a best of 3 and it doesn't go to 3 maps, that's not okay by me. I want to be going right down to the very last map, right down to the bitter end. Someone's got to show these 7 boys that they ain't all of that. You gotta bring it to them. Show that there's some other boys out there who can take down the reigning champions. But yeah, I think that may very well be it from us. If I can get some confirmation we're not going to anyone else. Nope, I think that's all good then. So I think this is going to be it for our Saturday coverage. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 European, if I'm not incorrect. I'm going to get this confirmed as well, boys. Oh my god, I'm a mess.
Just getting everything confirmed.
It's been a lot of hours of TF2, Right. So confirmation 5 European tomorrow. We'll be back with our first round of playoff, and we'll be going all the way through to the grand finals. And we'll see who's going to be the winner of our Essentials Cup for May of 2018. I've been eepily talking about some video games. That's been GrumpyKoi. You've been talking about some video games, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been talking occasionally. More getting confused between last and mid.
It's all good stuff. It's tricky. We've had Gemm doing production for us today. Shout out to our casters earlier, Dumtum and Plunk. Did some great stuff. I managed to do my first ever game with Plunk. Lovely guy. Yeah, shout out to the viewers. You've been doing some good stuff today. But we'll see you guys tomorrow then.
Bye-bye.